Ravens went down to Tampa Bay, came out with a win, defeating the Buccaneers 41-31. Lamar Jackson completed 17 passes for 281 yards, 5 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield, 31 completions, 370 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Keys.
Yeah, man. It was good to see, the team be resilient. To they've been resilient since they started 0-2, of course. But to talk about the game, to go down 10-0, and your defense looking the same, your defense looking holy, and to just erase it is like it never happened, literally. So it was just good to see the team resilient. It's good to see, I feel like everybody is watching football. Lamar Jackson's playing the best ball of his career, and that's crazy to say, but he's playing the best football of his career right now, and he's unstoppable. So they took advantage. Baker reverted back to 2022. Baker throwing into coverage, pressing a little bit, and that's because he lost his best target also. So let's put that out there that they were absolutely killing us before Mike Evans went out the game. And then things change. You be able, the defense they were playing, you can just single up, or you can pay all your attention on Godwin. That's why I Cade nothing with all, because they didn't really care. It was going to be a lot of stuff was in garbage time, but no, it was good to see. It's good to when you are the better team, when everybody say, well, it's clearly on paper you're the better team, and you go out and show that you are the better team. Get out there with hopefully we'll hear about, Marlon's okay, because we already short at that position, but hopefully you just get out there with no major injuries. And like me and Nick been saying, like everybody been saying all season, you just continue to stack. It's another stack win. It's another get better. You see Bateman, he's hopefully that once again, you just keep stacking. Zane have a good game, but but you got him his touches, so that opens up your Bateman game. Mark Andrews is looking like they get him the ball where they need him the ball. Derrick Henry is going to be Derrick Henry. Lamar is going to be Lamar. So it's good to see. It's not. I'm not going to. It's not. I'm not going to, like I said, we're not going to get too high, get too low here. We know what the ultimate goal is. We know what like I said, Nick always say, we saw 14-2. We saw last year. It's just a good win. It's a good win to keep stacking, especially when you look a little bit up north and you got the Steelers at 5-2. I mean, it's something to pay attention to. So you want to keep stacking these wins. You want to just keep getting better. Now, I don't know what the hell the Ravens going to do on defense, because something got to give, dog. Like, it's too many holes. We have never seen where teams, the Bucs wanted the ball because they wanted to go score for. They wanted to have the Ravens defense on the field first. That's rare when you playing the Ravens and over the history of the franchise where teams want the ball first. Like they usually don't want that against the Ravens defense. But this team's attacking them. They finding the holes. We talked about it last week. We just hopefully they can come up with a couple of plays here and there, and they did. Marlon made his plays. So they definitely came with the plays, but it's too many holes, man. There's way too many holes. There's way too many communication errors. The first play to drop, the first series of the game, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, we out of position. We're not getting the communication in, and we talk about that. It's all about communication with this defense right now. With that being said, they did hold them to that 10 points for a while, but then in garbage time, let it go off. To me, it's just a lot of holes. It's a lot of holes. It's a lot of like that against better teams, against in the playoffs, you might not be able to come back from that communication error. Like, and it happened 2 times. I feel like they rushed to the line, Ravens still getting out of there, and then they ran the play. But I'm not going to dwell on the bad stuff, because, like I said, you beside the score of the game is not indicated what the game was. Like we clearly dominated them. They at some point in time, it was no match. Like I said, they scored a lot of points at garbage time. But I need that defense to be cleaned up, man. That's what I'm taking out. I really need that defense to be cleaned up, and hopefully we can make a trade for a cornerback or get somebody in, because that with Marlon injury, that room is starting to get depleted. And in Brandon's season, we talk about it. He's not a number 1 corner. But shout out to the team, man. Just got to keep, like I said, it's one of the wins where you just keep going stacking. Shout out to the offensive line. They playing well. And yeah, just keep stacking. Now you on the road again. The Browns have a good defense, so it's like, once again, you're not gonna get too high. You did what you had to do. You beat a team that you're better than. Now you keep moving. Go try to win another one on the road.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. It's a great win last night. to see the Ravens go down 10 points. I think the main thing, Key's already mentioned, I think the main thing was Mike Evans going down. And, I look on the other side of the veil, and I've been giving Todd Bill so much credit and props this year, but I don't know what's up with that man. First, you see Mike Evans clearly is hampered, and he has a history of hamstring injuries. That's just one of those injuries that throughout his career he's had some issues with, as far as missing time in games. It's been pretty. He's been a pretty durable wide receiver, but when he has had to miss games, it's been due to hammies. And he was limping in the first quarter before he even got hurt, and it just you just saw that how compromised he was. Um, and then you let him play, and on a touchdown grab where he dropped the ball, he got injured, and that really changed the game there. And there was a few opportunities in the red zone in which they either they made mistakes in the red zone that we capitalized on, and we were able to kind of gain momentum from. Whether it's the interception that dropped by Evans and him having to come out the game, we were just able to capitalize. I think the Bucs really had us in a position where they wanted us to have. They just shit the bed. So, am I proud of the way we came back? Yeah, I am. Am I proud of how the offense looked? I am. But other than that, I think a better team. And it's not to say the Bucks aren't a good team, so to speak. I just think they're a level or a notch below us. And I think a better coach team, a more focused team, um, probably handles us in the first quarter like they should have. That doesn't mean they beat us, but I think the deficit would have been much larger. It really could have been a spooky deficit in that first quarter had we not been able to capitalize on some of the self-enforced errors that the Tampa Bay Bucks made. So we're not out of the weeds by any means. We're just finding ways to win during a regular season. Again, I don't, if you get pumped up about this, you haven't been watching Ravens football or any sport. You know what I mean? Like these times are necessary. You got to go through the journey. You got to go through the long haul. But you know, when you get to the playoffs, whether you win or lose, nobody cares about week 7 or 8. Nobody cares about what you did week 3 or what you did week 14. It's all about the end result. So we are stacking. Obviously, I've been saying it, for a while. I mean, Lamar's throwing the best that we've ever seen him throw. Uh, just keeps showing that. Mark Andrews is starting to get himself together and be a force out there in the seam. And it's really, it's becoming pick your poison. Zay Flowers, that ankle injury is a little concerning. I think that's why we saw a little bit more of Bateman. Um, but again, you have to shout out the offensive line because they started out really, really leaky and really, really suspect to the point where Lamar didn't have much time to throw in that first quarter. And then once the game settled, they were able to protect a little better, and he was able to find his reads down the field. And that's going to be a key going forward. You just got to give Lamar time to survey the field. He's showing that he's one of the best at surveying the field. He's one of the best at getting the ball to his guys. He's one of the best at making decisions. So you just got to allow him to do that and give him the space and opportunity to do that. And a big part of that is Ronnie Stanley and how he's played this year. He's been the best left tackle in the league, and that's a huge statement. Being how far he's had to come from his rehabs over the years and surgeries over the years to be able to have the third highest pass block grade in week 7, and being able to say that you haven't surrendered any pressures on 28 dropbacks is just those are the type of things Lamar Jackson has needed, and he probably hasn't had since 2019, and that's probably why you're seeing such effortless pocket efficiency from him right now because for the most part. Now there's times in which that O line doesn't give him a chance, but when they settle down, he's been able to do some things, and we just got to keep working at it. Derrick Henry, we didn't have to. I mean, again, stop with the MVP talk. We didn't have to use Derrick Henry. He didn't get in. He didn't get going until the second half, and we started like letting go of our lead by the time he started like getting really going crazy. So I mean, Lamar Jackson, he set the tone from the first quarter. There was a lot of Justice Hill in the first half. Lamar put us on his back when that defense was kind of shaky. Lamar put us on his back, and you also have to send kudos to Marlon Humphrey because he is the one that changed the game so that the offense could have enough momentum to to survive the ebbs and flows of a football game. With those interceptions, when they happened, with the defense reeling, giving up yards and plays and first downs, he made key interceptions at the most pivotal of times. So hopefully his knee injury is okay. And, back to Todd Bowles before I close up, that's just malpractice. You got your Mike Evans hurt, and then Chris Godwin with 43 seconds left. 10-point deficit, a minute and so left. 43 seconds left, excuse me. You out there flinging it as if you have a realistic chance. And now you have a realistic chance of not having your wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2.
A realistic chance that the season is over.
A realistic chance that you might get fired now.
Right.
A realistic chance that you're an idiot.
Yeah, Palmer, you're 1 now. Yeah.
Who knows? It don't matter who their 1 is because they all are not going to be the people that they just lost. And you got to ask yourself why. Like, you just ask yourself, like, what
especially when the Ravens pulled that, especially when Lamar was already out the game at that point in time. Like it made no sense why he would do that. Keep him in the game.
And I'm gonna say something unpopular, but Roquan Smith is becoming one of my least favorite Ravens because man to man, I don't understand like why you needed to even go about your business like that with 43 seconds left. Like he looked like he wanted violence with 43 seconds. Y'all supposed to be brethren on the field. Like my nigga, if you wanted violence, do that in the first half when they was driving up and down the field. Like with 43 seconds left. Like, why are you sitting there? If you watch the play again,
it was bad, dog. Like you knew immediately that something was bad. Immediately like he couldn't move his leg. I mean, we ain't had to see the replays to know that leg was dragging. And when you banging the ground like that, and your leg is dragging, it was something bad. And I just don't agree with. I agree with you, Nick. Todd Bowles. At first, I was like, well, but then I was like, Lamar was out the game. Like they wasn't even playing, which is another point of contention because you got your offense starts the game, but your defense starts in the game. John Harbaugh, be better than that. Like if the game is under seal and you taking your offense starters game, it's no reason why Roquan and Nate Wingers and them still should be and Kyle Hamilton still should be in the game. That mean the game wasn't over, and that was bad coaching to have Josh Johnson them in the game. It was. We could talk about that. We could also talk about how highly penalized the Ravens are. It's stuff like that. Like you at 2nd and goal with a 9, then you end up at 3rd and goal with a 39. That's bad football. That's points. Like, granted, they got the 3 points on the adjusted screen, but that's coaching. You got to coach them boys up and get them to stop holding.
What about special teams?
Giving up another onside kick.
The only 2 onside kick recoveries in the NFL this entire season has happened against the Ravens.
It's bad. It's bad.
I thought we had a special teams coach.
The legend.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Why is the one in Pittsburgh out here doing cartwheels and dances every fucking week? And the guy that we hired because of his special teams acumen and his ability to just be a rah-rah guy, why isn't he doing the special teams part?
Yeah, they block extra points and punts a dick.
And what pisses you off about it, which the same thing as was happening, is Lamar is so great that it's gonna get masked. You don't hear people talk about John Harbaugh anymore because Lamar's been so damn great, and the Ravens has won 5 years in a row, and the same thing happened year after year after year after year. Yo, them holding penalties and and all of them, that's coaching. Like that's not having them ready to go. And I understand the officials might be a little bit overzealous, but it's no way that I don't see You're not going to tell me that Kansas City going to get 3 straight holding calls from the 10-yard line. I'm not going to see that. And I that's that, between the defensive holds and all these penalties that the Ravens get, it need to be cleaned up.
You talking about the holds, which the holds, but I don't think you even get those holds if you are practical with your utilization of Derrick Henry. I understand that Justice Hill is our 2-minute, hurry up back. But when you're in the red zone with 3 timeouts left and ample time to run 3, 4, or 5 plays if you want, why do you have Justice Hill in the game trying to do screens when you're at the 8-yard line and you can hand it off to the 250-pound dude that has That'd be like,
That's
have you
average 6
seen his
yards a carry.
eyes when he's running? Like he looks crazy out there. Like he looks like he wants like problems with somebody. And it was like, all right, well, at the 8-yard line, let him have some problems with their D line, and let's get in his end zone before halftime.
Yeah,
coaching. It's just coaching. I mean, like I said, he hit the calls in the air. It's just coaching. Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree with that.
Oh yeah.
You agree with them in their takeaways, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, I think they always cover it well. I mean, Nick kind of alluded to it. Ronnie Stanley got 224 pass blocking snaps this year, no sacks. Only left tackle who's done that with more than 50 pass blocking opportunities. So the offensive line, they give up plays? Yeah, they do, but it's they holding up for the most part over this 5-game win streak. Can't give Marlon kudos enough. Like Nick said, those turnovers at the most opportune time. They get the turnover at the end of the half, knowing that you get the ball back and being able to stack points in that manner. That's complimentary football. That's what you have to do. But it still goes back to me to the defense, and I've been questioning Zach Orr almost since early on this season, but it's progressively looking worse. And even with the addition of Dean Pease over the last 2 weeks, I mean, it doesn't look like it's changed much. So that's something that we really got to figure out. Do we go and make a trade for somebody in the secondary, a pass rusher? Is that even going to solve the issue if we make a trade? Is this just a foundational schematic issue right now at this point? Play calling issue. So I don't know, but if this offense going to continue to put up 40 plus points and then you still going to give up 30, 35 points, I mean, I'm not trying to deal with that week in, week out. That's not going to win games in January. You have to get stops. We know how it works in January. The game slows down. There's minimal possessions.
That's an absolute fact. But then I worry because we've had those defenses in the past, and we didn't put enough on offense, and we lost the game because of offense most times anyway. So my thing is, if we are an offensive team at this point, I mean, all season we've had to outscore teams. We're an offensive team at this point. Do we lean into offense? I don't know if there's a corner available that solves our issues, but you never know who's available. We're not GMs and we're not, talking to the rest of the NFL. So, obviously if there's a playmaker or somebody that can help us, I'm with corner for sure. Definitely with edge help too. But at the same token, who's just in a rush to give up their edge rusher? I mean, edge rushers don't grow on trees. Wide receivers do, though. Offensive help, skill position players, they do. They are of abundance. You're not going to find TJ Watts everywhere, just, readily able to give you sacks, and if you find the Max Crosby's, you gotta pay up for that. And we have like $18 million of cap space. I'm sure we could figure out some cap space for a defender, but those are the questions you have to ask, because if we're outscoring teams through 7 weeks, why not lean into offense? I don't know if we're one player away on defense, and that's the scary part. That's what worries me, because with all the resources put into the defense, i.e. $100 million into an inside linebacker in 2024, people shouldn't be going up and down the field in the way, in the manner, and the ease and the consistency in which they do. So if they're going to continue to do that, even with $100 million inside linebacker, why not see if we just lean into the offense and give Lamar everything that he needs? Because, again, we've seen 40-point barrages in regular season before. It don't necessarily translate when it gets cold. I don't trust anybody until I see it in the postseason, other than the people that have shown improving already. Bateman is cool. I love what he's doing right now, but just want to see him keep up, and hopefully it can transfer into the postseason. But it's a lot of hopes and wishes. I'm tired of hoping, tired of wishing.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's only so much of that we can do. I mean, I think we do a good job of coming in here week in, week out. Like, we've seen this before. Like, we did the 14. I'm
trying to be optimistic.
Yeah, like we done the 14-2. Like, this is a win on Monday night in October. We're not gonna come in here popping bottles over it. But like we keep talking about, like, how are they progressively looking? Offensively, they progressing at an amazing clip. I mean, they
Monken's
rushing
looking
for
good.
Monken looking great. They averaging like 6.2 yards per carry, I think, which is on a historic path. And then they averaging over 7 yards per play just in general, which is also pushing towards historic numbers. I think the highest is like 7.9, which was the greatest show on turf. So we about 7.2, 7.3 right now. So like trending up offensively, and maybe you are right. Maybe you do just put all your eggs in a basket offensively and say, this our cash cow right now. We done it for the last 20 years, put all our eggs in a basket defensively. Why not switch it up?
I say that want to give kudos to Monken for what he's done and the confidence that he is calling plays with and the confidence that the team is playing with offensively. If you just look at the sidelines on these broadcasts and see how close Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are, they're always side by side. They're always together. They're always talking, laughing, and joking with each other. That's interesting. So you normally don't see a lot of quarterback, running back close-knit relationships. Maybe a quarterback and a wide receiver, quarterback, tight end. But I think that mutual respect there and Lamar knowing like, yo, I'm Superman, but I ain't got to be Superman every single second and minute of this game. Like there is an opportunity where I can hand the ball off and yo can just go 80 yards down the field and get me into the red zone and just make my job 10 times easier. That's the one difference that we have this year going in as opposed to previous years. You know, Derrick Henry, he's just a different type of talent. He's not replacement level. He's not Gus Edwards. He's not us trying to talk up somebody. He's that. His resume speaks for himself. And the plays he makes on the field consistently speak for themselves. He don't need, you know, he benefits from playing in a Lamar Jackson offense, but he didn't need it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, averaged 11 yards a clip last night. Like
Nobody's
that's
touching
great.
him. Nobody's touching him until he gets, you know, a full head of steam. And he hasn't seen that in years. He's not only, God forbid, I don't jinx it, but he not only is he going to stay healthy in a system like this, and we're not having to run him 30 times a game like a Tennessee either. So hopefully we
Picking
keep
his
him fresh in
spots.
January and we can unleash him in that moment. I just hope all of this is leading to what we really want, because last two regular seasons, I've had a different feeling about this Ravens team. I really feel like when I'm watching these games of regular season, I'm like, yo, who can beat this team? Who can beat this team if we don't beat ourselves? It's just, I want that to come to fruition. I hope it really comes to fruition.
I mean, because ultimately we are gonna we beat it. That's just what we do. You seen me last night, even with the, like you said, first and goal from the 10, and somehow you fourth down from the 40 now. You third and whatever from the 40 now. Like it's just
We got to close
all of
the
that to
game better
me.
too.
Yeah, you got to be able to close better. Like we're not finishing games.
You need a different coach. If you want all that to change, if you want all that to change, you need a different coach. Like that's the only thing.
No, I think
it's
it's foundational at this point. It definitely is. It's a foundational issue, and I mean it gets blinded by the fact that you go 14-2. It looks so good from September to December that we're gonna criticize him because he lost one game in January. Well, the one game in January is the game that we need. We don't need the Monday Night Football game in October. We need him to show up, the coach being the end of January, Martin Luther King weekend. We don't need you dancing on New Year's because you won a divisional. We need you dancing in February. Like, that's the issue with me and this football team. Like, I know what we're going to be. I ain't got no worries about us during the regular season. We're going to show up. That's what we do. What are we going to do them 3 weeks in January leading up to February? That's the Ravens. That's the 3 games I'm worried about, January and on. Because I know what we do this time of year.
The good thing is, if we're worried about it and we're honed in on it, I'd have to imagine Lamar Jackson, this is what he's been thinking about every day since
he plays that
loss. Yeah, man. And that's why I say in Lamar I trust, because I see it's a different type of energy that he's moving with. I mentioned it before, just him getting at people. He got at Marlon on that plane. Has Marlon not been a different Marlon since? I've seen less podcasts, less joking and laughing, just less goofiness and more playmaking, more picks. Like, yo, he publicly said, yo, I'm not with all that goofy shit. We shouldn't be laughing right now. Next thing you know, Marlon Humphrey's playing like the Marlon Humphrey we all know and love.
making big.
I like that type of leadership.
He keep his turnovers are timely, man. Like he don't need a lot of them, but whenever he make an interception, it seems like we need it. Is at the right time at the right moment. So hopefully, I just hope he not hurt because he getting burnt up. Don't let's not get that twisted. His ass can't cover across the middle for nothing.
Oh my God, Mike Evans had in trouble last night.
Yeah, that's just another conversation for another day. Like, I can go on and on about Brandon
hamstring.
Stevens.
Mike Evans had Brandon Stevens in a blender.
Mike Evans don't. Brandon Stevens
ain't poppy, but
now I realize that Brandon Stevens it's not physically like you already said, Nick. He got the perfect measurements, no Diddy for to be a cornerback, right? Perfect measurements, right?
He said it again.
He don't know. I already said it. It cancels on everything.
I don't cancel out.
You said it's no carryover.
This ain't carry the one over, nah.
But to me, it's like now I'm thinking like he don't even know how to play cornerback position. It's fundamental with him. His fundamentals be wrong. Like
look at
getting his eyes caught in the backfield when he's not supposed to, not carrying with the receiver on you when you have nobody coming out the backfield. So your job is to not play the backfield anymore, it's to play the receiver. So it's like, all right, like physically you might be there, but mentally, no, you're going to get burnt up. Now that's what I'm saying on tape now.
Let's go. We'll get to you in a second, but one thing that I've just thought of, what about our run defense last night? If Tampa Bay was a better coach team, they wouldn't have stopped running the ball.
Yeah, but I think that's more so, and that's a great point. But I think that's more so that the Ravens is playing a bunch of down. They had 6 defensive backs on the field. So Tampa Bay was supposed to run the ball for 100+ yards last night. The goal was, and I like that's what I'm saying. The game plan was perfect at first. I don't know what happened. I guess Mike Evans got hurt, but that was the plan to make them a one-dimensional. They wasn't going to let Tampa Bay just throw the ball up down the field, which was crazy because they was doing it at first. But that was the goal. I mean, they wanted them to run the ball.
I would have kept running until you stopped me, and then I would have played action with my guys. Like it seemed like they were trying to force the pass game, like they was playing for numbers or stat. I don't know what Tampa Bay was thinking, but it was a lot of garbage time at the end, and in the beginning, it was a lot of just haste. Just a lot of haste. Like if they would have just slow walked the dog and played up and coached it, but that's not our problem.
Coaching too.
A better coach team.
My fault. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just real quick, a better coach team, we would have been in a different situation.
Yeah, I think we're talking on Friday. It's hard. They fine with being one-dimensional. They fine with just throwing the ball. But we wasn't allowed them to throw the type of defense playing. They wouldn't have been able to sit back there and be. They can try to drop back and throw the, but you're not going to be successful throwing the ball. We all play Madden. You play dime. You're not going to be able to throw the ball against dime. You got to run the ball. So I was like, that's the point of it. And they made him run the ball. They were supposed to be effective. But yeah, you're right. If they should have just stuck with him and been patient, because once they start going to Baker, he started turning to Browns Baker. And them 2 interceptions were 2 bad interceptions. They were 2 bad.
Do we blame defensive coordinator for the way we play the screen games defensively? Because screens have been killing us all year.
Yeah, I mean, partly, yeah, but I also think that's part of the defense they playing. Also, the Bucs, they for some reason they just a good screen. Some teams just good screen teams, and they one of them teams where they can run screens to
one of them now.
Yeah, running back, tight end. Like some screens they ran to Cape Out, and I didn't even say Cape Out until he caught the ball on the until he caught the ball. I was like, where did he come from? So they just a good screen team. But I think partly
the other half of it was not being set up either.
Yeah. I mean, that comes with communication, man. Just running around, Roquan trying to act like he's blitzing when you got the running back coming to the backfield. Like you too many years in the league for that, man. Like you can't.
Don't lead your pickers around him, Scott.
Yo, before we move on,
this Minka shit.
I gotta ask. Yo, leave Minka alone, yo. I gotta ask about Roquan though. I knew he was a good player in Chicago. Really didn't pay close attention. All the talking. Everybody saw the pregame speech. They don't respect us. Tampa Bay came out like they didn't. The talking is amplified because the play isn't matching what he was last year. He was a difference maker for y'all last year. He changed y'all defense. This year, it's too often y'all come in here watching the game. You see it. Yo, he is getting abused right now.
He was decent last night. I'll give him that. But at the same time, to your point, it's too much talking. He is way too much talk. It's just not what we used to.
It's like, what you living up to? Are you trying to be
decent? Is cool. Decent is cool for a Patrick Queen on a rookie deal, or
no. I'm not saying. I'm not
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, no, I agree. Like decent from your $100 million man, decent is trash. We don't need you to be decent. We need you to be he did cause a fumble, but they ain't recovered. So like I said, yeah, okay, but too much.
Yeah,
talk.
they had a good second half. I think the first half.
18 tackles.
I mean, every defender had a great game once Mike Evans went out of the game with a hamstring injury. They better luck they think he's lucky stars that Mike Evans won the game because he was abused Brandon Stevens and the defense they was playing. It just once you lose your number one, it's over with. You can't. The Bucs weren't even going to do anything without Mike Evans. It was over with. It was literally done.
So was my parlay, boy. I went to sleep after that.
I hate to say it. We said the team was a Roquan merchant. It's looking like they was merchants of one another.
Yeah, that might be true. Two things could be definitely true.
No, I'll get out of me. Yeah.
And yo, we just real quick. Kyle Hamilton, he healthy. He back to hitting. I'm loving the physicality.
They need to put him on the tape about how to avoid a 15-yard penalty because that's 2 weeks in a row that he turned that shoulder. That's textbook for real. I love it.
Yeah, I just wanted to give him a shout out. He been hitting.
Yeah,
that's that Ravens football. I like.
What you call him, Skull? Will Demps?
Not anymore. No,
he ain't no soft. Nah.
Yo, got the Will Demps.
Yo,
Skull, you pretty good, yo.
Getting drafted. You know, clean cut guy. Same lineage as Will.
You called him that before you even saw him play a down, though. Like,
no. See, what the thing was, I liked him. Me and you had a conversation that Florida State game. I said, "Yo, who the hell is this?"
Yeah,
he was everywhere. But of course, he get drafted to y'all. I gotta hate him until he deserves to not hate. He's in that realm now. Nah, Kyle Hamilton's a guy. He's a guy. But yo, he was getting cooked in mini camp by some guy who works at Target now. It was
his first training camp, yo. Like
I don't care. I'm trying to argue and make points, man. And it helped. It helped. But hey, he turned it around. Good for him. Good for him, man. He's a good guy. Good guy. All right, man. Let's go to the first commercial break. Nitty Gritty.
When I want some sports news, Nitty Gritty is definitely who I'm tuning into, man. They show up each week with that uncut, that raw, that unfiltered sports news.
They say the things that everyone else wishes that they can say, but they can't.
Every Tuesday and Saturday, I am locked into my favorite sports show, Nitty Gritty.
Nitty Gritty, the best show out right now. Tune in and listen, stupid.